I shook hands with the President of the United States. We got into the White House. I'll never forget it, actually. So the President comes in, and he asks us, who are your senators? And I'll never forget this. Of course, we all raised our hand, the opportunity to speak with the President. And I was the very first person he called on. And he shook my hand, and I'll never forget it. And that was my first time in the White House. It's just gosh, it's like, wow, this is where the President of the United States resides and works. So that was amazing. I have a picture when he first walked in and he's clapping and everything. And we all took a group picture. It was 104 delegates and the President of the United States in the center of it. And funny story about that. So so I love politics, and so you can kind of predict what the president is gonna wear. And so I was like, I'm pretty sure he's gonna wear his black suit with his red tie. So I wore the same exact thing, and sure enough, he wore his black suit and red tie. So I met Vice President Pence a few weeks ago at Boys Nation when I explained earlier, Boys State program sends 2 boys to each Boys Nation. And so Boys Nation, you have the opportunity to meet with the president or the vice president, just depends on the president's schedule. So the president was occupied at Boys Nation, but I was fine with that because I've met the president but never met the vice president. So we were standing outside of the Eisenhower Executive Office building, and we were like right here, and the White House is here, and a motorcade pulls up and Vice President Pence hops out of it. He speaks to us. And I just get really lucky when I'm with politicians. They must know I want to be one of them one day. So the vice president, he calls on like 6 people to ask a question. And I was one of the ones who he called on to ask a question. And as he was leaving, I just threw my phone in the air like, hey, I'd love to take a selfie with you. And now keep in mind, there are 100 other guys who want to take a selfie with him as well. And it was kind of ironic because I was like a little in the back, but he remembered that I had asked him a question and he saw my phone. He's like, yeah. And so he grabbed me, pulled me up to the front and took a selfie with me. So I was like one of 4 people to get a selfie with the vice president that day. And then Secret Service was like, all right, that's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So cool.
I'll never forget those.